Hi, I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton, and this is Business Line, your monthly business barometer coming to you from Dubai. Now, the UK has suffered one of the highest death tolls per capita as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as the country gradually emerges from a 3-month lockdown, many businesses are wondering how they can recover with social distancing in place, even in the once beating heart of London's restaurant and bar scene, Soho.
News of the easing of the UK lockdown was widely welcomed by some weary sections of the British public, but for many it remains a cause for worry.
From the 4th of July, the following premises will be allowed to reopen provided they are COVID secure: hotels, restaurants and cafes, bars, pubs.
But many businesses, even well-established ones in the heart of London, are struggling to see how they will operate with social distancing rules in place.
We would certainly have to increase the amount we charge per guest, because there are going to be more measures in place: sanitation, disinfecting, disposable paper menus, masks for everybody. So there's going to be a charge associated with observing the social distancing. So I have no idea, but it's not going to be good.
There could be an answer. A group of restaurants and other businesses are campaigning to have parts of Soho temporarily pedestrianised through the summer months.
Without the pedestrianisation, most businesses won't even bother to open. They may never open again. So we're going to end up with ghost towns, boarded up buildings, no people wanting to have fun, and we're going to have to start again from scratch. If we bring the atmosphere back, several things will happen. Firstly, we'll breathe life back into the area. Secondly, we'll breathe life back into all the little individual businesses and give us hope.
The UK government's handling of the pandemic has been widely criticised as chaotic, and still, scepticism remains about how it's dealing with the easing of its lockdown.
I think personally the 4th of July is a crazy day to do it. Everything else has been done on a Monday. The 4th of July is a Saturday, when we know the world goes absolute mad and everyone wants to go out on a Saturday. And we're going to get whammed when really, if it started on Monday, we could break in gently.
But despite the obvious challenges ahead, some businesses just can't wait to open their doors.
In Dubai, a not-for-profit organisation has worked with innovators in the sciences, design and engineering fields from 250 universities in 56 countries to launch an initiative to combat COVID-19. Jane Witherspoon has more on the Global Grad Show, which is accelerating potentially game-changing technologies.
A great idea will only get you so far in business. Global Grad Show here in Dubai is a competitive platform for the innovators of tomorrow.
Our focus is the work of university students who are looking for solutions and work in their PhDs and master's degrees to find solutions for social and environmental problems. So at the very beginning of the pandemic, we realized we had a very robust group of people whose work is to come up with solutions for complex challenges that humanity is facing.
On the jury deciding the winning products are large investment companies who can provide knowledge and funding needed to get these concepts to the market.
I really was taken by the amount of creativity and innovation that these university students have, from America to Mexico to Europe to China to India to the Middle East. When I joined ARM Holding and I re-looked at our investment strategy, I immediately thought of having a fund to support these creative ideas.
We are trying as much as we can to be hands-on with the startups. We try to help them with their market validation. We also try to help them with the investment and the financials, and also make sure that they are looking at all aspects of their business before launching it into the market.
The products included antiviral packaging, a homemade bleach-making device, and Foresight, a system that uses artificial intelligence to predict intensive care patients' deterioration.
With regards to a pandemic, the aim is that in order for a model to be a good prediction system, it needs to learn from the data that's available. And intensive care ICU has the largest available data set. So if we have a data set of these patients or previous patients that suffered from a particular pandemic, and we know exactly how that affects the physiological condition of a patient, then certainly that can be predicted in the future too. The reason why Dubai was of interest as well is due to their advances in medical health records. So there's been an initiative for them to actually use electronic digital records.
While the pandemic has hit some businesses hard, it's also driven others to search for marketable solutions to help us better deal with its effects.
And meanwhile, for Italian holidaymakers, it's nature tours closer to home which are proving popular. With concerns about mass tourism, especially in the hardest hit regions, these so-called eco-staycations are providing a welcomed relief and breathing life into local economies.
The travel and tourism industry has been one of the hardest hit by COVID-19, especially in Tuscany, one of the northern regions of Italy. As the sector looks to re-establish itself, there's a glimmer of hope as more and more Italians are opting for hiking and eco-tourism staycation trips.
Luckily, we spotted the growing trend of tourism and eco-tourism. Our hope is that people will abandon the approach to mass tourism, even if COVID-19 imposes specific behaviours like everyone not being able to go to the same place or not gathering together, or maybe because isolation makes us realise that we can feel good even alone. We can feel better if we're not crammed, or we feel better in the wild after having been home for 3 months.
It's hoped that the pandemic could bring some unexpected and welcome alternative choices for holidaymakers.
We're shaping tourists who are aware, who respect the area, who are helping to move away from the typical tourist attitude, even in Tuscany. So despite the bad time we are living through, we're creating new opportunities in much more valuable clusters than before. That's because we're dealing with tourists who are aware and people who want to play their part to improve things. This is not trivial, since this message has never been so loud.
For policymakers, it could also be an opportunity to rethink how tourism is managed in the country.
Let's put it this way. In Italy, tourism has always been treated separately from the main economy. Nobody has ever tried to manage it. We have no good examples of good management. So this could be a chance to rebalance the developing pattern of the cities, even inside the biggest tourist areas. We must find a balance between the presence of tourists and residents and the quality of life in the cities.
And finding that balance will be crucial if the tourism industry is to recover and develop sustainably.
Well, that is a wrap of Business Line for this week. We very much hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you for watching, and do join me again next time for a roundup of the biggest business and investment stories from around the globe. I'll see you then.